We've been going to CedarCreek Church for about 12 years. We have a beautiful family of 2 girls who are 14 and 10. Our youngest daughter, whose name is Grace, she's a beautiful little girl, but we started noticing when Grace was about 12 months old that things were different. We noticed that she didn't speak. We noticed that she played a lot by herself, so we took her to a developmental pediatrician, and he said that he definitely thought she was on the autism spectrum. Grace was diagnosed with nonverbal autism. For a long time, it was very difficult because even though I thought she was intelligent, even though I could see it in her eyes, she just can't make her body do what she wants it to do all the time. Sometimes I could say to her, Grace, get your shoes, and she'd go pick them up. And 20 minutes later, I'd say, Grace, go get your shoes, and she would just sit there and look at me and couldn't do it. But at 7 years old, Grace was playing on the floor with a communication device. We were trying to get her to press certain buttons for items she desired, and something in my heart just said, you know what, pull up a keyboard and see what she can do, see if she can spell. And that's how it started.
She typed Grace, and I was like,
and
is that for real?
I know, I was so excited. I turned to Hope and I said, did she do that? Did you just see her do that?
And then she asked her who she was, and she typed Mom, and she pointed to her sister and said, who is that? And she typed Hope. And then she pointed to me on the couch and said, who's that? Dad. And I'm in awe. We went from not knowing what was in her head to realizing that she knew a ton of information, from knowing the simple words that we thought she could spell to knowing the states and the presidents.
Within the first week, Grace typed to us that her mission was to tell people not to be so quick to judge other people. And she typed to me, people didn't think I was smart, not even you. And that broke my heart. And I said, Grace, I thought you were smart, but I could never prove it because you couldn't show it. And she typed, I knew that you didn't think I was intelligent because you said I didn't understand. And then she went on to tell us that she wants to teach people about Jesus and about heaven, and that she feels that's her mission.
That she's a helper to help people find Jesus.
And she wants people to learn about people with all disabilities, but specifically autism, to help them understand they are the very same as everyone else inside. And you can't just look at the outside. You can't just look at her flapping and her spinning and giggling and, behaving inappropriately at times. And you look at her on the outside and it's so easy to be caught up in the outside and think that she's not typical because there's so much going on with her all the time. But truly inside, she's the same. Once we realized that Grace could type and was using an iPad, I would sit down with her every day and say, Grace, what do you want to share?
And when something's on her mind, it just flows.
Yes, and so there's been times when I've been extremely nervous and anxious, and today, before this video, I was really nervous, and I just said to Grace, do you have any questions before we do this? Because she's going to be part of this too. And she typed, I'm excited. You're nervous, Mom. And then encouraged me by saying, things will be fine and God will be with you and everything will turn out all right. And that it's, a fun experience and that she's looking forward to it. And it just made me feel better and remember that this isn't about us. This is about God and bringing Him glory and sharing Grace's story because she doesn't have the words. Sometimes she even reaches out to people that we don't know. We heard a story about a little boy with autism who was having a really tough time, and she wrote him a letter. She wrote, you don't face bad days alone. Kids who have autism are a family. You have the love of others with autism. Grace has had a bad last few days also, but each day gets better. Dance on your good days and reach out to wonderful kids like you. I have said you can't dance alone. Grace will dance with you. I hope your bad days are over soon. Hang in there. Face really sad days knowing you have a friend in me. She just hates to ever see anyone suffer. To Grace, there's always hope and there's always God's grace. My perspective has changed because of Grace's messages to me. And my perspective now is I want her. I want her to reach her mission. I want her to teach people about autism and disabilities, and for people to know that they are typical inside and that they can have a heart for the Lord and that they can encourage people just like we do and probably better than we do. And that she's going to help teach people about Jesus and about heaven and bring people to Christ. And if that means she never speaks, because that's God's plan for her and how she's meant to do it, that's what I want for her now. I want her to reach her mission. It's most important to me. And truly, she says more and reaches more people and is more encouraging than any person that I know who has speech or of any age. I've never known anyone who encourages people like that.